The one masculine habit women find ridiculously hot and 10 ways to show it. Modern Stoic. And love is not about possession. Love is about appreciation. Osho. What if the most magnetic thing you can offer a woman has nothing to do with your wealth, appearance, or social standing, but instead comes from the way you present yourself? Many men spend years trying to win a woman's affection through gifts, flattery, or showing off their achievements, only to wonder why the connection fades. Perhaps you've experienced this yourself, working hard to impress, to prove your worth. But deep down, something just wasn't clicking. Despite all the effort, you feel more distant than ever. Here's the cold truth: women aren't attracted to constant effort or seeking validation. What truly draws them in is something far subtler, yet infinitely more powerful. It's not about doing more. It's about simply being, showing up with a presence that resonates on a deeper level, one that she feels instinctively, without needing words. This one masculine habit is so intrinsic, so naturally commanding, that it shifts the way a woman perceives you. The Stoics knew this centuries ago, long before psychology caught up. They understood that true power lies not in trying hard to impress, but in embodying strength, restraint, and authenticity. Women are drawn not to the man who exhausts himself in pursuit, but to the man who stands firm in his own essence. In this video, we'll explore that one powerful habit women find undeniably attractive, and I'll share 10 practical ways you can live it out every day. But before we begin, drop your name, where you're tuning in from, and what your biggest relationship challenge is. Let's grow together. Now, let's dive into the journey. Number 1. Stop apologizing. Let's dive into something that can absolutely transform how women see you. Stop apologizing. Yes, it's that simple. Too many men fall into the trap of apologizing for everything, not because they've caused real harm, but because society has conditioned them to soften their presence. This is the underlying issue. Every time you utter an unnecessary sorry, you're not being polite, you're broadcasting weakness. Women are attracted to confidence, not insecurity, and nothing kills attraction faster than the energy of someone who doesn't believe in their own worth. Think about it. You don't need to apologize for being late, for having an opinion, or for simply existing in your space. You may not realize it, but this constant apologizing is a signal of self-doubt, not kindness. And let's be real, when you're in the presence of a woman, she wants to feel your presence, not question your value through your constant need to apologize. Take Daniel, for example, a smart guy, works in tech, stays in shape, but every time he's on a date, he's apologizing for the smallest things. Sorry, I don't eat sugar. Sorry if that sounds silly. By the end of the night, his date didn't feel attraction. She felt hesitation. Why? Because she never sensed confidence. She felt like she had to take the lead. That's not the energy that sparks chemistry. Women want to feel grounded, strong energy, not uncertainty. That's the essence of being a modern Stoic, standing firm in who you are and not apologizing for it. The blessing of Stoicism is that it teaches you to be present, assertive, and unapologetic about your existence. On the flip side, let's imagine a situation where you're standing in your power. You're not flustered by small, insignificant situations. Instead of saying, "Sorry, I'm late," you say, "Thanks for waiting." Instead of saying, "Sorry for bothering you," you say, "Do you have a moment?" These little changes matter. They project strength, respect, and presence, qualities women find irresistibly attractive. The old Stoic philosophy was clear: never apologize for being who you are. It's time to stop over-apologizing and start being intentional in every move you make. Women want a man who knows his worth, not one who asks for permission to exist. Let's be clear, this doesn't mean being rude or dismissive. True masculinity isn't about bulldozing others, it's about self-assurance. You must accept responsibility for your actions. But there's a clear difference between owning your mistakes and habitually apologizing for just being present. Accountability says, "I made a mistake, I'll fix it." Over-apologizing says, "I'm sorry for taking up your time." One shows integrity, the other undermines your strength. You must learn to recognize the moments when you're about to apologize unnecessarily and replace it with power. Start today, make it a practice, and watch how your presence changes. By embracing this mindset, you embrace modern stoicism. You step into your masculinity with full confidence, fully aware that apologizing for every little thing isn't strength, it's the opposite. And here's the kicker. Women will feel this shift. They won't consciously notice it, but they'll feel the difference in your calm, assertive presence. This is the essence of Stoicism, living with intention, never backing down from who you are. Now, make it your mantra. Drop a comment below with "I own my space" and start living without apologies. That's the path to becoming the man women find irresistibly hot. Unapologetically masculine and undeniably self-assured. Number 2, lead. Don't chase. Let's get real for a second. Chasing women. Yep, that thing most men do at some point is a trap. We've all seen it. The endless texting, the over-planning, the subtle desperation to convince her that your time is worth her attention. But here's the kicker: the harder you chase, the faster she runs. It's the paradox of attraction. So, why does this happen? Chasing comes from insecurity. Plain and simple, it's the energy of a man who doesn't quite believe in his own worth. He thinks he has to prove something to her. But women can smell insecurity from a mile away. It's heavy, it's desperate, and it repels more than it attracts. Think about it: when you chase, you're scrambling, reacting, living in a state of lack. You're telling her that your happiness depends on her response. That's not masculine, it's needy. Now contrast this with leading. Leading is what women really find irresistible. Why? Because it's grounded in confidence. It's a man who says, "I already know my value. I'm living my life with purpose, and you're invited to join me if you want." But whether she says yes or no, you're still moving forward. You're still living your life. That's the difference. When you chase, you're not in control. You're constantly reacting to her moods, trying to keep up with her pace, giving her all the power. But leadership is different. It's about knowing where you're headed and setting the direction. You create the frame and you invite her into it. Women respect this kind of leadership deeply. It's not about controlling her or making her feel small. No, it's about clarity. And that clarity, it comes from the blessing of Stoicism. The Stoics knew this well. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." If you can master your own emotions, your own reactions, you're leading with purpose. Chasing traps you in a cycle of dependency. You're enslaved to her attention, living in a constant state of anxiety over whether she'll text you back. But when you lead, you stay grounded. You're not swayed by her actions. Your life is stable. You make decisions with intention. You create structure. That kind of stability is magnetic to women. They want a man who is unwavering, who can set a course and stick to it. Women lean in when they feel that security. Let's talk practical steps, shall we? Leading doesn't mean being a pushy or arrogant jerk. It means taking the initiative with calm, unshakable confidence. Instead of begging for her time, you frame the invitation. I'm checking out a new place Thursday at 8. You should come with me if you're free. See the difference? It's not a plea for validation. It's an invitation to share an experience. And if she declines, no big deal. You're still going. Your plans don't revolve around her. Your life doesn't stop if she says no. Now, let's take this leadership even further. True leadership extends beyond planning dates. It means being emotionally steady too. If she throws drama your way, don't get sucked into the chaos. Lead the emotional tone. Don't let her mood dictate yours. You remain calm. You stay grounded. You show that nothing can shake your foundation. That's leadership. That's strength. So here's the mindset shift. Stop asking, how can I get her to like me? That's a chase. Instead, ask, how can I invite her into the life I'm already building? The moment you shift your focus from chasing approval to leading with purpose, everything changes and scarcity gone. Abundance present. You no longer need her approval to feel valuable because you already know your worth. Here's your challenge. The next time you feel the urge to chase, pause. Ask yourself, am I leading or am I reacting? If you're reacting, shift gears. Women may not always say it out loud, but they feel the difference between the man who leads and the boy who chases. Lead with purpose. Live with intention. You are the architect of your own life. If you found this valuable, like, comment below, and share it with someone who could benefit. Don't forget to subscribe for more wisdom on mastering your masculine presence. Comment to remember, I lead my life. Positive affirmation, I lead my life with purpose, confidence, and clarity. Number 3, attraction without need. Here's the hard truth, most men won't admit it. But the quickest way to destroy attraction is by acting like you need her for your happiness. You know what I'm talking about. The constant checking your phone, analyzing every word she texts, or bending over backward to prove your worth. Guess what? That's not making her want you, it's making her suffocate. Women are incredibly skilled at detecting neediness. The moment they sense that you need them more than you simply want them, all the mystery is gone. Attraction isn't built on pressure. It's nourished in freedom. When you're calm in who you are, when your value isn't tied to her reactions, that's when the real magic happens. And that's when she leans in. That's when she starts chasing you. This is where the blessing of Stoicism comes in. The Stoics preached about self-sufficiency, about being whole within yourself. The words of Marcus Aurelius resonate deeply. A man's worth is no greater than the worth of his ambitions. If your biggest ambition is to get the girl, you've already lowered your value. But if your ambition is about growth, creation, and living life fully, you bring that energy to everything you do. And trust me, women can feel it from a mile away. Let me tell you a real story about Alex, a 30-year-old software developer from New York. He met Claire, a 27-year-old photographer, and at first, their chemistry was undeniable. But Alex quickly fell into the trap of neediness. Whenever Claire didn't respond quickly enough, Alex would shoot off another text. Did you see my message? Or are you upset with me? On dates, he continuously asked her if she liked him. In his mind, any sign of affection from her was reassurance. But to Claire, that constant neediness felt like pressure, and pressure kills attraction. Within a month, she pulled back. But here's the twist. Alex realized what he'd done wrong. He shifted. He stopped making Claire the center of his world. Instead, he reconnected with his passions, his coding projects, his workouts, and spending time with his friends. And here's where it gets interesting. When Alex started interacting with women again, he carried a calm, collected energy. What happened next? Claire reached out to him. She was curious, drawn in by the shift in his energy. Because the man who doesn't need her is the man she can't ignore. Here's the key lesson: women aren't attracted to men who see them as the missing piece of their life. They're drawn to men who are already whole. They see women as an addition, not the foundation. Real confidence, the kind that commands attention, says this: I'd love for you to be here, but I don't need you to be. So how do you apply this in your own life? Next time you feel the urge to send a double text or over-explain yourself, take a step back, pause, ask yourself, am I acting from genuine desire, or am I seeking validation? When you act out of desire, you pull her closer. When you act out of need, you push her away. Number 4, interest, not approval. Stop chasing approval and start cultivating genuine interest. Men often make the critical mistake of confusing these two, thinking that a woman's laughter, compliments, or sweet words are signs of attraction. Here's the truth: approval and desire are worlds apart. Approval is polite, it's surface level. It's her way of saying, you're fine. But let me ask you this: does fine keep her awake at night? Does it make her long for you? No. It doesn't turn into a burning desire. Seeking approval is like begging for validation. You're handing her the power, waiting for her to give you a stamp of worthiness. In essence, you're asking, tell me I'm good enough. But no. You must never live like this, because the Blessing of Stoicism teaches us that the pursuit of approval is rooted in weakness, not strength. Instead, spark interest. When you spark interest, you're offering her an experience. You're not seeking validation. You're saying, here I am. Let's see if you can keep up. Interest pulls her in, while approval-seeking keeps her at arm's length. A modern Stoic understands this dynamic deeply, far before psychology caught up with what ancient wisdom already knew. As Epictetus put it, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. In other words, stop living for the approval of others. You'll never truly live authentically when you do. And this applies directly to attraction. Approval might earn a smile or a polite comment, but it'll never set her heart or her body on fire. The old Stoics knew that men who chase approval twist themselves into pretzels, constantly shifting their tone or story to win her attention. If she seems bored, they change their approach. If she doesn't laugh, they try harder. But that's a losing game, because approval will never lead to real desire. Now, picture a man who isn't chasing approval. He doesn't bend to her mood. He doesn't jump through hoops to please her. Instead, he's grounded, playful, and full of mystery. This man sparks curiosity, creates a rhythm, and makes her want to step into his world. So stop seeking approval and start being the kind of man who piques her interest in ways she can't resist. That's the true power of attraction. If you want to truly spark interest, stop chasing approval. Comment below with the phrase "interest over approval" always, to show you're ready to shift your mindset. Like, share, and subscribe for more wisdom to boost your confidence and attraction. Number 5. Calm desire wins. Most men have it all wrong when it comes to attraction. They believe it's about turning up the volume, telling louder jokes, wearing flashier clothes, and pushing with relentless energy. They think desire should be like a blazing fire, intense, impossible to ignore, burning hot and fiery. But here's the hard truth. Fire burns out quickly. What lasts? What truly captivates a woman is calm desire. This is the presence that says, I want you, but I don't need to devour you. Calm desire is the type of attraction that is steady, grounded, and free from desperation. Why does this work? Because it shows control. It's the power of being moved by intention, not impulse. You want her, yes, but you're not defined by the outcome. This subtle difference can make all the difference in how she sees you. Don't misunderstand. Attraction isn't about constantly proving how much you care, chasing her relentlessly, or wearing your heart on your sleeve. The Blessing of Stoicism teaches us that true strength lies in being unaffected by fleeting emotions and situations. This doesn't mean indifference. It means you're grounded. You're the rock in the storm. Let's break it down. Meet Daniel, a 32-year-old guy living in New York. He's on a second date with Julia, a 28-year-old woman. From the start, nervous energy takes over. He talks too fast, laughs a bit too loud, and fiddles nervously with his drink. He thinks his overly animated behavior will show his enthusiasm. But what Julia feels pressure, not chemistry. The tension he creates isn't exciting, it's off-putting. Now imagine this same date with a twist. Instead of rushing through every word and every gesture, Daniel takes a deep breath. He slows down. The silence no longer feels uncomfortable. It's just a moment to breathe, to let the tension dissolve. His gaze is steady but relaxed. He listens more than he talks, allowing the conversation to flow naturally. His calm presence doesn't scream for attention, but invites connection. Julia, now feeling something different, begins to lean in. There's no pressure, only ease. This is calm desire in action. It says, I'm interested, but I'm not desperate. This shift, this serene approach to attraction, is rooted in Stoic lessons. The Stoic life teaches that when you let go of your need to control the outcome, you allow the natural flow of connection. Being intentional and calm shows you are in control of your emotions, not ruled by them. This doesn't mean you don't care, it means you care without losing yourself. So remember this, the calm desire you show is a reflection of your inner strength. It's the kind of attraction that endures, rather than burns out quickly. It is a blessing of Stoicism, where you can want, yet remain unaffected. That's how true connection is built. Number 6, be the poet. Too often, men think that being poetic means reciting Shakespeare or impressing a woman with fancy words, but that's not the essence of being a poet. A true poet doesn't rely on memorized lines. He crafts energy and emotion with every word he speaks. To be the poet is to speak in a way that stirs something deep inside her, something she can't quite articulate. Forget logic. Forget listing your job title or your achievements. Logic can inform, but it doesn't captivate. Attraction doesn't live in facts or figures. It thrives in the heart, the senses, and the invisible atmosphere you create when you speak. A Stoic man understands this. He doesn't speak to fill the silence. He speaks to connect. Like the principles of Stoicism that value presence over noise, the poet is aware of the moment, aware of her. The poet doesn't just describe, he paints. He doesn't say, the sunset is nice. He says, the sky is on fire tonight. He doesn't ask, how was your day? He leans in and asks, tell me the moment today that made you laugh without holding back. That's the difference between a flat interaction and one that opens a door into real connection. Women don't remember every word you say, but they remember how you make them feel. And when you speak like a poet, you make them feel alive, heard, and seen. You aren't being dramatic, you're being aware. You notice the spark in her eyes when she talks about what she loves. You hear the softness in her voice when she recalls a childhood memory. Then you reflect that back with authenticity. That's poetry in its most powerful form. Embrace the Stoic art of listening and responding with intention. Speak to her heart, not just her mind. A man who masters this knows that words are weapons when used with wisdom. Don't just talk, connect. Don't just inform, ignite. As Marcus Aurelius said, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. So don't just say the words, live them. Speak with purpose, and be the poet she'll never forget. If you find today's content useful to you, don't forget to share your feelings and lessons with her, or simply comment, "Very cool." It's a great encouragement for our channel makers. Thank you very much. Number 7, presence over words. A lot of men mistakenly believe that winning a woman's attention is all about clever speech, pickup lines, witty humor, or that perfect sentence that unlocks her heart. But here's the brutal truth: attraction doesn't stem from words, it emerges from your presence. Women don't remember everything you say. What they remember is how you made them feel in your company. And in the world of modern stoicism, presence communicates far more than 1,000 rehearsed lines. Let me break it down for you. Picture this: Daniel, a 31-year-old man from Boston, is on a dinner date with Sophia, 28. He's smart, charming, and knows how to keep the conversation going. But here's the hitch: Daniel can't stand silence. Every pause feels like a catastrophe. So he fills every second with chatter, jokes, explanations, unnecessary commentary. Sophia is smiling. The conversation flows. But deep down, she feels something's missing. Daniel is performing. And let me tell you, performance is hollow. Now, picture the same scenario with Ethan, 33. Ethan doesn't speak much at first. Instead, he listens. He asks Sophia a thoughtful question and listens without interrupting. His eye contact isn't overbearing, but it's steady enough to make her feel truly seen. He lets the silence sit comfortably, giving her space to open up. His calm energy makes her feel safe. Ethan's presence doesn't just entertain, it values. And that night, when Sophia goes home, whose image stays in her mind? It's Ethan, the man who was present, not Daniel, the man who performed. And that's the essence of this principle. Women are drawn to men who can simply be there without needing to impress. When you're anxious, trying too hard to be something you're not, your energy scatters. Even if your words seem confident, she'll feel the nervousness. On the flip side, when you're grounded, calm, and comfortable with silence, you convey strength without needing to prove it. The old Stoics knew this long ago. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." Your inner world, whether chaotic or serene, affects your presence. It's impossible to fake. If your mind is frenzied, she'll sense it. But when your thoughts are steady and purposeful, she'll feel your strength long before you speak. Here's the mistake most men make. They think presence equals profound speech. But presence isn't about being silent. It's about being deep. When you do speak, your words carry weight because they aren't drowned in noise. Women are keenly attuned to energy. They can tell if you're genuinely listening or just waiting for your turn to talk. So how do you cultivate presence? Slow down when she speaks. Don't rush to respond, just listen. When silence comes, don't fill it with words, let it breathe. Maintain eye contact with calm steadiness, not desperation. Ground yourself in the moment, in your breath. The more rooted you are, the more magnetic you'll become. Think about Daniel. If he had just paused, asked one thoughtful question, and listened, he could have completely shifted the vibe of that date. Instead of feeling like she was being talked at, Sophia would have felt connected, and that's what women remember: connection, not performance. This is the blessing of Stoicism, the ability to be present, to stay grounded, and to understand that real strength comes not from what you say, but from what you embody. Be the man who doesn't need to perform. Be the man who simply is. Number 8, the power of silence. Among all the masculine traits you could sharpen, few cut deeper than this one: the courage to sit in silence. Most men run from it. They fear that if the air isn't stuffed with chatter, they're losing her. So, they panic. They scramble for jokes, ramble with stories, fill the void with words that carry no weight. Don't. Silence isn't your weakness. Silence is your weapon. It's not the absence of words. It's the presence of strength. Women are highly intuitive. They can feel when a man is at ease with himself. They can also feel when he's performing, begging for approval. A man who embraces silence doesn't chase validation. He radiates it. That is where attraction begins. Think about the moments that really linger. A pause in conversation, a steady gaze, a slow, deliberate smile. Those speak louder than 100 clever lines. They reveal composure. They reveal presence. And presence is what women lean toward. The blessing of Stoicism is that it teaches you this exact principle. Epictetus said, "Silence is safer than speech." He didn't mean muzzle yourself forever, he meant silence guards your strength. It keeps you from bleeding out value through careless words. In the Stoic life, silence isn't emptiness, it's strategy. When you master stillness, the game shifts. She starts leaning into the space you create. She asks the question, she opens up, she invests more energy, because you didn't rush to prove yourself. That's the quiet pull of gravity she cannot resist. But listen closely, silence is not passivity. It's not shutting down. It's not icy detachment. It's composure in action. It's proof that you can hold space without collapsing. Pair it with relaxed shoulders, calm breathing, and steady eyes. And suddenly your silence doesn't feel like distance, it feels like confidence. That's the difference between awkward and magnetic. And here's the payoff when you do speak. Your words strike with 10 times the force. Instead of flooding her with noise, you give her anticipation. She listens. She wonders. She leans closer. Don't be the man who talks the most. Be the man who doesn't need to. Be the man whose silence has weight. Be the man whose stillness sparks mystery. Because mystery is fuel, and fuel drives attraction. This is the Stoic lesson you cannot ignore. Stop running from silence. Train yourself to sit in it. Let her feel your calm. Let her wonder. Let her lean into the quiet strength you project. That is the shift, from being just another voice in the crowd to becoming the man she can't stop thinking about. If you've made it this far, you're already starting to understand the power of silence. Most men can't sit comfortably in stillness. They fill every moment with noise. But when you embrace silence, you become magnetic, creating space for curiosity, intrigue, and deeper connection. Now, it's time to put this into practice. Comment below with this powerful statement: I am comfortable in my silence and confident in my presence. Let's show the world what true masculinity looks like. Number 9. Stillness creates fire. Most men think attraction comes from doing more, talking more, moving more, chasing more. Don't. Stop chasing. Stop scrambling. Understand this: stillness is power. Stillness is heat. Stillness is fire. When you are calm, grounded, and unshaken, you radiate a confidence no words can buy. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That is Stoic wisdom, and women feel it immediately. They sense when a man owns himself, when he stands with the unbending presence of stone, and it ignites something primal inside them. Picture it leaning back, relaxed, sipping your drink without the need to prove, without the need to perform, simply anchored in the moment. She leans in, curious, drawn by your silence, because your stillness speaks louder than noise. Don't confuse stillness with passivity. Stillness is active. Stillness is intentional. Stillness is control. The modern man must reclaim this ancient discipline. In a world of constant noise, scrolling, rushing, bragging, stillness is rebellion. It is the practice of Stoic principles in real time. It is the art of creating tension by resisting the urge to fill it. Seneca once said, "He who is brave is free." Be brave enough to hold your ground. Be free enough to let her come closer. Let stillness become your weapon, your shield, your flame. You must master this masculine habit, because when you own your energy, you own the room. When you master stillness, you master desire itself. Claim it, live it, breathe it, stand firm, stand calm, stand unshaken, because that is what makes you magnetic. That is what makes you unforgettable. Number 10, unforgettable without trying. Here's the truth when a man truly embodies his masculine essence. He doesn't need to rely on flashy tactics or exaggerated performances to make a lasting impression. His presence speaks for itself, naturally unforgettable. It's not about loud gestures, exaggerated charisma, or polished lines. Those things fade away. What sticks with women is the feeling you leave behind. The mark you make isn't in the noise, but in the quiet certainty of your presence, the calm that radiates from within. This is the blessing of Stoicism at work. Women remember how you make them feel, not necessarily what you said. She might forget the specifics of your conversation, but she'll never forget the way you held her gaze with steady eyes, the calm assurance in your voice, the way she felt safe walking beside you, knowing you were unwavering. That, my friend, is what women find irresistibly unforgettable. And it's not a matter of performance. It's a matter of being. Many men mistakenly think they need to constantly perform, crack jokes, and tell bigger stories to impress women. But all that energy, those attempts to entertain or seek approval, will fade in a heartbeat. What women remember is the grounded presence you offer. When you let go of the need to impress and instead stand firm in your masculine identity, something shifts. Just ask Robert, 34, who used to overcompensate with humor, desperately trying to win approval. While the laughter came, the connections didn't last. It wasn't until he stopped performing, started listening more, and let his quiet strength guide the interaction that everything changed. Later, Anna, 29, confessed, "I couldn't stop thinking about you." That's what being unforgettable looks like. It bypasses reason and settles deep into memory. The old Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius understood this perfectly when he said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." When your inner state is steady and composed, every interaction reflects that strength. To be unforgettable, you must learn the art of subtraction. Stop chasing approval. Stop forcing the connection, and instead stand unwavering in who you are. Only then, when you are grounded in your true self, will she feel the profound impact of your presence. This is the essence of modern Stoicism. When you embrace it, you become the man she can't forget. Hey there, gentlemen, if this message sparked something in you, give this video a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a shift in mindset that can quietly transform your life. Remember, we don't chase, we lead. We choose growth over desperation, strength over noise. Life is about mastering your own path with confidence and integrity. When you embody these qualities, everything else follows naturally. Thanks for watching, gentlemen, and I'll see you in the next one.